Welcome to the Last Drop Business Podcast, where we have the privilege of interviewing successful business owners who have maintained their sobriety. These entrepreneurs have achieved great success while staying sober, inspiring all of us to overcome challenges and to achieve our goals. So whether you're someone who is in recovery, an entrepreneur, or just someone looking for stories of hope, The Last Drop is your source of inspiration, motivation, and empowerment in the business place. I'm your host, Timo, and please join us as we celebrate The Last Drop, the moment where everything changes and the real journey begins. What's up, and welcome to The Last Drop podcast, where we celebrate the incredible journeys of individuals who have embraced a sober lifestyle and have found strength, resilience, and purpose in the process. I'm your host, Tim O'Connor, and in today's episode, we have a gentleman with 37 years clean from Australia, Mr. Ron Isherwood. He's a transformation coach, an author. He's got a podcast, and he's also an addiction specialist. His book, Born into a Lie of Crime, is about his childhood leading up to 2 decades in an Australian prison. And he's also the founder of the Truth About Addiction website out of Australia. Ron, how are you doing today? Is that all right? Is that all good?
Yeah, very good, my friend. I'm well and very grateful to be offered the opportunity to come on and share my experience, strength, and hope with you and your listeners, my friend.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for being on here today. Definitely have kind of tried to get things rolling with The Last Drop, and it's just like, it's great to have so many people on and have so many different types of people share their experience, strength, and hope. And so we'll kind of just jump into a couple of questions here. The first one is, what events led to you drinking and using when you were a kid?
With me, my old man didn't drink. He didn't drink, my father. My father was a gangster. And in those days, and it's still these days, when you take a chemical, you stop being on guard. When I say the word gangster, I'm not talking about, I'm talking about someone who carried a gun 24 hours a day, slept with a shotgun, had a fireman's axe under the front seat of his motor vehicle, would get me to go and start his motor vehicle in the morning to make sure it wasn't a bomb in it.
Oh my God.
So it was pretty full on. It was a pretty full on upbringing. So I drank with my elder sisters. I had 2 elder sisters, one who died from alcoholism, and the other one was my half sister. And I remember getting drunk with them when I was probably 10 years of age, 11 years of age. And I went into blackout. They ended up going put me in the back of someone's car. They had a disco sort of deal.
It's all good. We're good. Keep going.
Yeah, and so from my very first drink, I was a blackout drinker. Sounds crazy, but I was. I drank, and I didn't drink every day. I wasn't that sort of guy. But every time I drank, I only drank for the effect, and I thought being drunk, paralytic drunk, was what you strive for. I wasn't a fan of alcohol, but I drank it. I didn't drink beer. I drank spirits because beer was too slow. Beer was far too slow for me. And then what happened for me was, by the time I was 19, I'd already been to prison by this stage. I went to prison at 17 years of age for shooting a couple of guys and also having a shootout with the police, at 17 years, 3 months. I was in a man's maximum security prison. And so I was pretty scarred. Even though I didn't know, I thought it was normal because my dad's a gangster. If your dad's a cop, you're used to cops coming around your house and hanging out and them talking about catching the bad guys. When your dad's a gangster, you're used to the gangsters coming around, having guns on their, strapped under their arms, having shotguns. And, you open the boot of the car to get the picnic basket out. There's a pump action shotgun sitting beside the picnic basket.
Oh my God, dude.
That's normal. That was normal. In my life, that was normal.
Wow. Okay.
Abnormal was going to work 9 to 5. That was abnormal. Talking to a policeman, that was abnormal. Totally. Associating with people that weren't... See, all my family wore suits. They wore tailor-made suits, handmade shoes, the little pork pie hats. I'll quickly just... There's a photo of me at 13 years of age. That's how I dressed. I might have been 14
mafia.
there. Yeah, I was full on. It was full on. That because I dressed the same way as my father dressed.
Okay.
My old man got his clothes were tailor made, and I was his boy, so my clothes were tailor made the same. Our shoes were handmade, crocodile skin, and it's just crazy stuff, man. Like when I read my book after I wrote it, and I read it today, it feels like it's somebody else's story. It
Wow.
really does. So the alcohol for me at the beginning was just a way of being social, I guess, because everyone else was drinking. But I knew that there was something wrong because it made me really sick. I remember, I don't know, you might relate to this, coming home as a teenager, we'd been out with your friends, and I was really drunk. I'd be in my bedroom at my mum's house, and I'd be vomiting into the bucket. The room would be spinning around, and I'd be saying, "Mum, I'm sorry. I'll never do this again. I'll never do this again." And then the next Saturday, exactly the same thing.
Same thing.
Vomiting, yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't know there was a problem, and drug addiction was, you got to remember, I'm nearly 70. We're talking in the 60s here. Drug addiction wasn't a big deal. In 1971, I went to prison, and they put me on a drug called Largactil, which is a psych drug, because they said that I was a schizophrenic psychopath because I was in jail charged with 5 attempted murders.
Oh, wow.
Major crimes. And that you got to remember, I was only 7'7" too, so I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I was a boxer, but I was a little kid, but I was pretty ferocious. I wouldn't take a backward step from anybody, whether it was the police, whether it was the prison system, or the prisoners. So they thought, well, this is not normal. Let's sedate him. But when I think back, of course it wasn't normal, even though it was normal for me, because I suffer with this affliction, a disease, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to debate it with anybody.
Yeah.
But I have this affliction where I had really low self-worth. And the person who doesn't care the most is the most dangerous person in the room. Because you couldn't take anything from me. Yeah. You couldn't. If you took my life, you'd done me a favor.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And I hung on to that for many years. I hung on to that attitude for a lot of years. And, because I went to jail as a little boy, like a little blue-eyed, blonde-haired, good-looking young 17-year-old boy, So, and you got predators in there, pedophiles.
Oh. And
the word went out straight away, like, this is Isherwood's kid, this is Ronnie's kid. They all knew my dad, the gangster.
Okay.
And, and the pedophiles were sort of said, well, you go near this kid, he'll kill you. Yeah. And I told people, you get the stranger who wouldn't know who you were and go like, oh, you're a good-looking boy, or, oh, what's your deal, son? And I'd say, mate, if you come near me, I will stab you to death in front of the governor.
Oh, my.
I'll kill you in front of the judge because I don't care. Because I didn't care, that was the truth.
Yeah.
My principles were so strong, and they still are today, but they've just gone to a positive principle. Yeah. I'm still the same guy. People don't understand, in recovery, you don't change a great deal. You change everything.
Yeah. And change everything.
But you still are the same person. I still think the same. I still have the same thoughts. Somebody cuts me off on the street, I still want to chase him down for a moment. That little switch goes, fucking, didn't indicate, let's chase him down and stab him 100 times,
Yeah.
And then your brain goes like, that's your disease talking. That's the lie of the thief and the cheat.
So true. It's so true.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was my alcoholism, and that went on till I was 19. And what happened for me was I just got out of jail from that time that I got arrested with as a 17-year-old. I got out of jail, I was 19. I got found not guilty of the attempted murders. I spent a couple of years for other stuff. And I had a car crash. I started smoking pot.
Okay.
And we had a car crash, and my mum passed away. My mum was my whole world. So that was the only person I'd ever loved. That was the only person that was ever a connection with me. Because in my household, I never heard my father say "I love you" to anybody.
Oh wow! Okay.
My father was physically, emotionally, spiritually violent towards everyone in the family, and sexually violent towards one of my sisters. So this man was a complete fucking animal. I'm not talking about. And I've spent nearly 20 years in prison over the years. I think, I don't count. It's well over. It's nearly 2 decades in prisons in
Wow.
4 different states, and I've
Okay.
still never met anybody as evil as my father.
Wow. Okay.
I've been with mass murderers, serial killers, rapists, fucking child killers. I've been in jail with all these horrible human beings, and none of them are as evil as my father. So that's just a little broad brush of where I grew up. And I
Wow.
found heroin. What happened was I was a pot dealer. And I was at a house. And I like being the man. This is the truth. And I say it openly and honestly. I don't deny it. I really enjoyed being a drug dealer. It gave me an identity. It gave me power. I drove nice cars. I got the girls, and I'd pull up at a nightclub. The bouncers out the way. Ronnie's coming through. You know what I mean? Like, you're treated like a celebrity. With that. My buddy, I got a real good buddy. He served 24 years in Thailand prison. He says, "Mate, you're the only man that lived the life of a rock star without the shit music."
That's hilarious.
Yeah, because it was true. We were living that life that we thought was the life of crime, but it was the lie of crime. So once I found heroin, man, it was love. It was love.
Yeah.
Because what happened was I stopped feeling. I stopped feeling like a fraud. I stopped feeling like a scared little boy in a man's body who could go and shoot you but couldn't hang out. It's such a contradiction when you talk about the disease of addiction. The contradiction is that we go and do all this crazy, heavy-duty stuff to get our drugs. And if we don't score within 48 hours, we're laying in bed. So my legs, honey, my legs, rub me a bath. Honey, I got animals crawling inside my body. We're such emotional cowards.
Yes, and that's so true.
And when you think about your lifestyle and you go to any lengths, and I'll climb that building like a single bound, like Superman. I'll climb up that drain pipe into somebody's building to rob it.
Totally.
But I can't hang out. I can't go without my drugs for 48 hours.
It's crazy.
And, so it told me in retrospect that I had a thinking problem, not a drug problem, that my thinking was so disorganized and so left field. And I loved heroin. I tell you right now, I still loved it. I hate the person I become when I used it. And now, because we've grown up, I don't like the fact that it stopped me from feeling, because I like feeling now, because I like feeling nice. I like when my little kids say, "Daddy, look at this, Daddy, look at this," and they dive into the pool or things like that, because you can't just pick which emotion you want to shut down. You got to shut them all down.
Yes,
the bad and the good.
Yes.
This is my conversation when I've had a lot. As I said, I'm nearly 70 years of age. I've had a lot of accidents. I've been shot. I've been stabbed. I've got all these injuries and stuff like that. And the doctors try to put my medication on codeines and things like that. And I say, "Mate, I can't. I'm not going to take it." They say, "You're untreatable." And they say, "Why won't you take it? You're scared you're going to get addicted?" I said, "No, I'm not scared I'm going to get addicted, but it stops my emotions."
Yeah.
They go,
totally.
It stops my pain, but it also stops my joy.
Damn, so, dude.
Then if you want to ask you, why are we drug addicts? Why are we alcoholic? Because we're trying to stop some sort of pain.
Yeah.
And the sad part is that once we stop the pain, we stop the joy. So then life becomes miserable. Life becomes miserable. So all we're doing now is repeating this. It's like having sex for your virginity or fighting for peace.
Yeah.
It's not working. It's not working. And for me, it took a long time to understand that it didn't work. You got to remember, when I started using, NA wasn't even going in Australia.
Oh, wow.
AA was going. NA didn't start in Australia until 1981 properly.
Okay.
When I got clean originally, NA wasn't even in Australia.
Wow.
The basic text wasn't written till 1982.
That's right. Yeah.
I've got a copy of the basic text before it was written.
Do you?
Yeah, I should have got it out and showed it to you, man.
Dude, that's so sick. I should have
got it out and showed it to you.
Is it the Grey Book?
No, it's before the Grey Book, brother. Give me 1 second.
All right. Bring it on.
This is the prototype.
Oh, dude, that is crazy.
This is the prototype for the NA basic text. How cool is that?
Beautiful. That is so cool. Oh my God.
And I keep this. When I relapsed, it's got scratches on it and cuts on it where I was cutting the rocks up on it and saying that NA didn't work.
Oh my God. Dude, yeah. That's so fucking wild.
But the funny part is, why did I keep it? I haven't kept anything else ever in my life, but I kept that fucking book. And when we had COVID on, I had people coming to my house and we were doing meetings out of that book because the nostalgia was so blowing their mind. They were like, fuck. And that, because it hadn't been edited then, a lot of that's changed.
Yeah.
Because they talk about the dope fiend and they talk about, stuff like that,
Yeah.
The actual language is completely different to what's actually been printed. So that's the first ever draft of what the basic text was going to be, man.
Dude, that is amazing. That is amazing. Because my basic text that I first got when I first got clean back in when I got clean back in 2020, like I still have that book. And for a minute, like I didn't use it and I just put it on my bookshelf and like I gave away the other basic text that I have, and it's just something about that first book that I got. Right. There's just something magical about it, and it's just like I feel like I'm connected to it in some sort of way just because it's so special, and
it's my security. It's my anchor.
Yeah.
That book there, I got that tattoo on my finger. That's my anchor. That keeps me to what, and I've got my recovery date. I got my recovery date tattooed on that wrist, and it says the 3rd of the 3rd.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, 3rd of the 3rd, 86. Because that was the last time I took a drug. And, yeah, man, anybody that's searching for recovery, just go to a meeting and check it out. If it doesn't suit, go and find something else that might suit. But,
yeah,
mate, I've never been to a bad meeting. What I've done is I've gone there and been a bad listener.
Yes. Yeah, totally. Expecting to hear something and like, I'm going to find out how to never do drugs or drink alcohol ever again. And it's like, that's not how it fucking works.
Yeah. Or I'm going to learn how to control it.
Yeah.
No. It's like trying to control. As I said, I'm the king of one-liners, and I say, okay, with clients or with anybody, and they go, I'm a really strong-willed person. I say, really? Oh, well, that's really cool. Next time you've got diarrhea, don't have a crap. Don't have a crap. Yeah. Let me know how that goes.
How's that go? Yeah, right. Yeah, let me see how that goes.
Let me know how that works out for you, shitty pants.
Dude, that's so funny. So did you get clean? Did you get clean in jail?
Well, I always detoxed in prison. I never detoxed in a rehab in my life until last time. I got 12-stepped in prison.
Okay.
I'd escaped from prison in 1978. And by 1981, I had a friend, when I was an escapee, I got on Dex amphetamines. I'd never used them before.
Okay.
And I went to really bad, imagine you're escaping from prison and you're using Ritalin. So I'd never use it because I'm an opiate user. So I've gone into psychosis and I'm yelling at the top of the building, come and get me, motherfuckers. I know you're there and I got a gun. Oof. And, and there's nobody outside. I get arrested 28 days after I escaped. I get arrested running down the street with one shoe on, blood pouring out of my leg. I'd been getting chased for 20 minutes in my head, but really I'd only been getting chased for 10 minutes.
Oh, dude.
It was fucking insane, man.
That is.
So I learned really quickly that I'm not very good with amphetamines. And my friends all told me, go back on heroin. Honestly, they all did. They said, mate, get back on the smack. Get back on the smack because, we have got different chemical makeups. That's why some people are attracted to the uppers. Some people are attracted to the downers. I'm the downer guy. I like the downer. I like down consciousness.
Mm-hmm. My brain's already going too fast. Like, I don't need it to go any faster,
But that's the nice thing about recovery. You just channel that same energy. People say to me, oh, I'm ADHD or I'm this or that. I don't like labels. I say, well, you're obsessive compulsive, eh? Yeah. Do it in the steps. Become obsessive and compulsive with your recovery.
That's right.
I like to run 20Ks. I said, why don't you write 20 lines? Write 20 lines of your recovery session. You can use all these things that we use as cliches as positives. It's all about your mindset. It's all about changing the way you think, and you'll change the way you feel. Change the way you feel, you'll change the way you act.
It's good. That's good.
It's all about that. I even forget what you asked me the question. Sorry, Tim. But drinking and drugging to me was a nowhere. I got in 1981. This guy came to me. A buddy of mine wrote me a letter and said, "I'm in rehab. If you used half as much energy to get clean as you do to get stoned, you got this." And I'm in prison.
Oh yeah.
And I write back like, "What the fuck you talking about, motherfucker?" I'm in jail. I'm dealing drugs. I'm using. I'm fit, and all that sort of bullshit. Because when I go to jail, I was a drug dealer, and so Mark was really smart. He got these 3 young chicks to start writing to me. "Oh, I've heard a lot about you. I'd love to meet you." And because I'm in prison, I've been in and out of prison from 17 to 27. So these girls haven't got penises. They're real women, because I've been in jail with women that have got penises. That's not what I want, I want to go to this other place,
the other side.
Women. I want to go to the dark side, And honestly, that was my motivation. Is I got bailed to the rehab. I still had to report every day to the police station, and I did that for 10 months. And then what happened was a girl that I'd fallen in love with in rehab, she left the rehab, and I followed her out. And as soon as I followed her out, I was wanted because I was bailed to the rehab. And in saying that, I've got beautiful 41-year-old twin daughters from that relationship.
From that relationship.
Yeah, and it was only a relationship. It was no love. There was nothing like that. It was just a drug-fueled, drug-crazy. I call them rehab rat house romances. Yeah, it was a rat house romance, but I don't regret it because I have beautiful children and grandchildren because of that. And but I got the seed plan, and what I got, which is really important, was I got the therapeutic value of one addict helping another.
Yeah. Yep.
And I got a thing called empathy and compassion, which is something I never had in my life. And I got that for the fellow suffering addict.
Oh, yeah.
And I still have it today. And that's why I do my podcast. That's why I do my work. And everybody knows you don't make money out of looking after people. Out of being what I do, transformation coach, and, out of every one paying customer, I have 20 non-paying customers.
Yeah.
And the only people that are paying customers in my company are people that are corporates, can't afford to go to rehab. And when I say can't afford time, I'm not talking about money. Money's irrelevant. Money's bullshit.
Yeah.
Money's just, you want money, just fucking work harder. Just work harder, work smarter.
For sure.
Yeah. I'm 70 years of age. I still work 7 days a week.
Hell yeah. For sure.
And my eyes are open. I'm scamming. I'm looking for ways to make money. I'm investing. I'm buying cars. I'm buying jewelry. I'm buying watches. I'm wheeling and dealing all the time, except it's legal. Today it's legal. I'm still legal. The same guy. I'm still the same guy. I've still got the same motivations. I'm still got the same principles. I don't rip people off. Even when I was a drug dealer, in the end, I never ripped people off, mate. In the end, when I was involved in drugs, I never even unwrapped the packages. I'd get the kilo and just pass it on. I would never check it because to me it was just a commodity, and that's the sad part. It just became a commodity. It didn't become an emotional attachment to this chemical that's actually ruining lives. When I get more honest with myself, because you can justify anything, because you got to remember I was still involved with drugs at 16 years clean.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I went back to prison at 16 years clean and served 8 years.
Oh, my God. Okay. Yeah.
So, I was still a criminal. I was still a career criminal right up until 2002.
Okay.
So, I was still, when I say career criminal, I'm connected.
Yeah.
So if you came to me and said, "Oh, man, I want to buy X, Y, Z of heroin," I'd say, "Okay, you give me 50 grand, I'll introduce you to somebody in Thailand."
Oh my God, dude, that's wild. You come to me and
go, I want some coke. I say, "Okay, I want you to go to Sao Paulo on this day. You go to this hotel, check in. Someone will come and talk to you. You get whatever you want. I don't care what you get, but I want 10,000 for every kilo you get.
Oh my God, dude,
So you
that's
know what I mean.
wild.
So I was still connected that way, even though I wasn't hands on. And you know what, mate? Do I regret it? Fucking oath I do. And I don't have any regrets. That part I regret. That part I don't feel good about. That part I'm not ashamed. I'm more regretful of my arrogance and my ignorance that I justified it. Because what happened was cocaine in Australia was very it wasn't popular when I was a drug addict. Now the only people that used cocaine were lawyers, doctors, upper class. I'm a street kid. So I didn't care about the upper class. Mine was like, fuck them. Fuck them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, who gives it? And plus, I didn't really understand about the degradation, the dereliction, the same as any other drug.
Yeah.
And, and what I'd done, I justified it and categorized it like it's only coke. Who cares? No big deal. Some lawyer and some judge are going to be snorting coke together tonight. My coke. Fuck you. I got your money.
Yeah.
I've been paying lawyers for 100 years. Now it's like, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm getting some money. I'm getting some money back, cocksucker.
Getting some money back. Yeah.
And, and in retrospect, I do have shame and guilt. And, as we both know, they're two different things. One's about how I feel. One's about how I think you make me feel. But I can't change it. But what I did do, I changed it completely, that never do it again. So I make my amends by stop doing it and by doing what I do today. I haven't been involved in crime for the last 20 years.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, that's amazing.
Considering I was a career criminal, I've never had a job in my life except for work for myself.
Yeah.
I only ever worked for myself. Even today, I've never had a job in my life. I've always been a wheeler and dealer. That's my deal. I'm a wheeler and dealer. I look for loopholes.
Yeah.
I've been importing cars from America since 1988, 89. That's why I met one of my wives in America in San Francisco in 1993. So I had a 28-year-old daughter to her.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. When you were in jail, either time, were you ever trying to carry the message of Narcotics Anonymous or 12-step while you were in there?
Yeah, this time when I went back in 2002. So you got to remember, when I went to jail in the very early 70s, there was hardly any drug addicts there. I was the odd man out.
Okay.
So I was the odd man out. So come 2002, I go back to prison. I get sentenced to 18 years, and I go back to prison, and I'm a recovering addict. And I get to prison. There's no NA literature. There's no AA literature. There's no H&I meetings. There's nothing.
Oh man. Okay.
So I go to the welfare officer and all this, and I go, man, you guys are serious? And then I write a letter to the general manager. Can I get all these books sent in, some NA literature? And he goes, no, we can't get books sent in because you're not allowed to get nothing sent in because there might be drugs. And I said, what about if I get the institutions themselves to send it directly from the head office? He goes, okay. So I went and bought 50 basic texts, 50 AA big books, 50 steps working guides, and had them donated to the prison. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. So cut a long story short, what happened was, I was a multi-millionaire when I went to prison. I wasn't broke. I was living in a waterfront mansion with the brand new convertible Corvette in the garage and the race car, and then the daily driving car and the boat out on the back. I was connected. I mean, like a lot of people talk shit, but show me, don't tell me. Show me.
Okay,
I don't want you to. I don't want to tell you how tough I was. I want my mates to say he was a tough motherfucker. That guy.
Okay.
Self-promotion's nothing, man. Most people that tell about it, I was nah, come on. So, cut a long story short, I start getting H&I meetings. I start getting NA coming into the prison, AA's coming into the prison. We've got literature. Then the GM, the general manager, they call them GMs here, not governors. He starts to really like me, and he goes like, "This guy's fair income." In the end, I was doing 5 meetings a day in the prison to all different units because all the units were locked down. They were all separate. But me and another guy were allowed to go to the unit and run meetings. And I got banners sent in, steps of traditions. And I had this thing here. Recovery. Dude. Yeah. It says, have you been to prison yet? you're eligible too. If not, why not? I nearly got, look at that. Can you see what it says?
NA convention.
In Berlin Correctional Center.
Oh,
it was a
that
prison.
Is fucking so cool, dude.
And it got stopped.
You had a convention.
At the last minute.
Oh my! It got stopped.
I had it all okay. I had it all done. We had allowance for up to 200 people to come in. We was going to run a convention inside the prison, and the GM got moved, and the new GM came in and went, "That's fucking squashed. You've been running this." And he goes to me, "You've been manipulating this system, Ron. I run this jail. You don't run this jail." And I'm like, "Listen, motherfucker, I'm trying to save lives there." I had a unit. This is a true story. I had a unit of 28 men. I ran. I'm a prisoner serving 18 years for drug smuggling. And we cooked our own food. Our visits were in a different section. We had NA meetings every single day. We had a morning meeting. I ran it like a rehab. I ran it exactly the same as a rehab. They had to make commitments to stay clean for the next 24 hours, and they had to work on one of these demands. Man, I had that joint running for 18 months, and these guys are alive today who are really successful because of that unit, So
that's amazing. That is amazing, dude.
That's how I stayed clean. People go, "Oh, Ronnie, you're such a good guy." No. How do you keep what you got by giving it away? How do you stay clean? By carrying the message.
Mm-hmm.
I had to save my ass. I had to stay alive.
Yeah. And each H&I is like, I love doing H&I today. I love being able to go and carry the message to people who even if they just get a taste and they understand okay, Narcotics Anonymous, there's something out there that's called Narcotics Anonymous and whatever. And as long as they get a piece of it and I can at least, carry a little bit of a message, then it's helping me more than it's probably helping them, and it's just, that is one of the coolest stories I've heard in a fucking long time about having a convention in a prison.
Man, that would have been the biggest coup in NA history. It really would have been. It would have been out of control. I believe our job is to plant seeds. What they do with the seeds, up to them.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's all about attraction, not promotion. Because all I say is, if you want what I have, do what I did.
Yeah.
This is what I do to stay clean. I don't tell anybody how to stay clean.
Yeah.
Even clients. I don't tell clients how to stay clean. And I don't tell anybody they can't use. What I say is, you can't use and have a good life.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Do what you fucking like.
Yeah.
But you cannot use drugs and have a good life. You cannot use drugs and have a relationship with anybody else, because you can't have one with yourself. You can't use drugs and be trustworthy, because the dope comes first.
Always.
I never say you can't use, man. I never say you can't use. You can fucking use. And I'm not going to lose any sleep over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've done my job.
Yeah. It's, as long as I have that desire to stay clean, and that's what matters. I can't give this gift of desperation that I found when I got clean to you, And so many people ask me how do you stay clean? And I tell them, and they're like, "What the fuck? I don't want to do that." I'm like, "Okay, go. Yeah. That's your choice, man. Good luck. Find yourself,
Yeah. If you're lucky, I'll see you when you come back. If you're lucky, I'll see you. If you're lucky. I say, "Do you think I'm an idiot?" And they all go, "Oh, no." I say, "Well, if there was an easier, softer way, I would have found it."
Yeah.
I've searched the world, man. I did the whole world tour looking for spirituality. This is the story that I went to the ashrams in 1991 to India and learned how to meditate. I read the Quran. I've read the Bible. I went into yoga. I went into the Buddhist teachings, which I still like. I still like the Buddhist teachings, only because they talk about no harming of others and no alcohol, no chemicals in your body. And I like that part.
Yeah.
There's actually a loophole if you want to kill people in there too, but for the greater good. I've been through this with the Lama. I went through this with the Lama about, because they had white ants. We had white ants at the Chenrezig temple. And he goes, "Oh, we've got to get the exterminator in to kill all these white ants. They're eating all the pillars." And I said, "Wait a minute, we're not allowed to kill anything. This is me, the addict. This is the addict." Yeah. And he goes, "Oh, no, Ron, you've misunderstood. We can kill for the greater good." I said, "My! I got you. I got you. I wrote that down, for the greater good, But he said to me, "People think because you're a Buddhist and somebody breaks into your house, they're going to rape your wife and kill your child. Of course you kill them.
He said, it's not for the greater good.
It's not for the greater. He said, you can't do that, you know. See, people are misinformed and don't understand that, you know.
That's so interesting.
Exactly. Read the thing properly. And then I went to Israel. This was a big experience. This was only 6 years ago. I went to Israel. And as I said, you know, I'm 38 years clean, a couple of weeks. And I walked the path of Christ, the full path where he walked. I walked the whole path of Christ in the holy city. And then I paid a security guard, which is, you know, I'm still crying. I paid a security guard to open up the area where Jesus was actually crucified.
Oh, my God.
And me and another guy went there and stood at the exact spot where Jesus was crucified. We took photos. And what an incredible energy. The vibe in that area, the energy in that area is fucking insane, brother.
I bet it's insane, yeah.
And I did a podcast.
Yeah, just like the same, like where, did you go to the tree where like the Buddha was supposed to be enlightened? Okay, for sure. Yeah, I bet it's kind of the same energy. It would be interesting to like compare the two, right?
I might even do that.
Dude, do it. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I might do that. Now that you said that, I might do that. So here's the funny story. This guy that I went to Israel with came to Australia to get clean. And anyway, he got clean. He was about 8 months clean, and he used to talk to me. I was like his grand sponsor. I sponsored his sponsor.
Okay.
And he comes to me and he goes, Ron, I need to make some money. He's a really beautiful guy, you know, big, tall, good-looking Israeli boy, you know, fit and healthy, really a good-looking young man. And he goes, I need to make some money, brother. I need to make some money. I said, just keep working the program. I need to make. I said, write the first step. He's like, oh, fuck. So then he says to me, mate, I need to make some money. I said, come and mow my lawns. I've got a couple of acres here. I said, come and mow my lawns and be my gardener. So I give him a job as my gardener, you know, and we become friends. I go to Israel with him. He takes 10 days off work, shows me all around Israel. We go to the Dead Sea. We go to the Holy City. We go everywhere. His dad's a barrister. His dad's a really smart lawyer in Israel. Beautiful man. I go to his house for dinner. The funny part is his dad's a Buddhist. So his old man and I get on really well.
Of course.
So fast forward 6 years. It's been 6 years. I did a podcast with him 2 nights ago.
Oh, cool.
Out of Tel Aviv. He's 8 years clean.
Wow. Okay.
He's 8 years clean. He's married. He's got an 18-month-old daughter. And life's fantastic. And when I was in Israel with him, he said, I'm so worried because there's not many NA meetings. In Israel, all the NA meetings are in bomb shelters.
Oh, my God, dude.
Because, you know, like in Australia, most of the meetings are held in churches. Because, you know, that's who gives us the ability to go in. They don't judge us. They go, you can come in here. Well, in Tel Aviv, all the bomb shelters are owned by the government. So the government have let NANAA go and do their meetings in these bomb shelters, which is really cool. You go into these bomb shelters
cool, yeah,
to do meetings. So we did all that stuff. And then when I said I did it the other night, and I said to him, you know, how are you, brother? And he goes, yeah, it's coming out in about 2 weeks' time. You should listen to the podcast. His name's Ori Cohen. Okay. And Ori, O-R-I. And he's talking about, you know, at the moment what's going on in Israel, but we didn't get into the politics and all the bullshit. He said, brother, I've been to more funerals this year than I have in my whole life.
Oh,
he
dude.
Said, the people, we don't want this war. He said, it's got nothing to do with the people. You know?
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with the people. They haven't got a choice.
No,
you know,
they're stuck in
bombs going off. And he says, you know, I don't know. And he goes, you know, God's willing, I'll be able to catch up. I said, come and visit. You know, come over here whenever you're ready and visit us. But that's a story that I love about NA. 8 years ago, this guy was telling me, I want a wife, I want a child, I need to have an income, 8 years later, I'm having a conversation with him. I have a beautiful wife who I love and adore. I have a beautiful 18-month-old little girl who loves me. My company's doing really well. And he's in the middle of a war-torn fucking country, and he's grateful and he's carrying the message. And he started lots of meetings over there.
It's a gift, man. Yeah. The gift,
and he started lots of meetings, man. To me, that's my recovery paid back.
Yeah, definitely. And that's man, it's so true. I mean, it's amazing because there's so many gifts that this program brings, and it's like, you know, and that's such a great example of like how, you know, recovery can just make someone so grateful. I mean, he's in the middle of a war and he's just like, what can I do, man? I'm going to stay clean today because that's how it works, and that's, dude, yeah, that's amazing. So do you so what made you want to write your book?
I think it was when I got clean before the literature was written. You got to remember the Steps Working Guide wasn't written till I think it was 1999. I can't remember correctly.
I think it was the late 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 1990. So that wasn't around when I got clean. The first time I got clean, we just wrote our life story. And I did my first fifth step with a priest because I knew he couldn't tell anybody anything.
Yeah.
But I got nothing back.
Oh, yeah.
I got no return.
Yeah.
I got no defects. I got no cycles. I got nothing. I got no step 6 and 7 back. So when I did my first fifth step, so fast forward to 1986, I do my fifth step with my new sponsor, the guy I got today, and he goes like, "No wonder you can't stay clean. You've got a God of fear and a God of judgment." Because I had no understanding of a higher power, and he said to me, "Would you give your money to a drug dealer that you didn't know, that you didn't trust?" I said, "No fucking way." I said, "I was the drug addict that has a shot. If the dope's good, I might pay you."
Yeah.
There's no guarantee I was going to pay you either. I mean, I was that sort of junkie that, like, no, it's not that good. Give me another one,
Yeah,
I was the guts. And he said to me, "Your higher powers, you got a God of fear, and that's why I had so much trouble with higher powers." And I said, "What's your higher power?" He said, "My higher power is love, understanding, and forgiveness." So I stole that higher power, and I've been clean ever since.
That's good. That's some good shit.
And my higher power works through the rooms. I say this, and I say this as a joke. God hasn't spoke to me since I stopped taking amphetamines. He hasn't spoke to me. Run, they're outside.
Run,
yeah, run, motherfucker. Yeah, the house is surrounded. Get out. So God and I'd stopped talking to each other since when I got off the amphetamines. But love, understanding, and forgiveness. The biggest thing I ever wanted in my life was love, which I never felt from anybody, and I never felt it for myself. I wanted understanding because I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
And I wanted forgiveness for the past that I'd done.
And
that's
good. That's real good.
In 1985, when I relapsed, in September 1985, I relapsed. I was on 120 mil of methadone, which is a lot of methadone.
Oh yeah.
And I was trying to get over the methadone, and I was having a really hard time. And 85, 86 was a really funny year. We had that space shuttle go up and blow up in America.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yes.
Well, I'm sitting there on the nod at fucking 3 o'clock in the morning Australia time because of our time differences. And I'm watching, and I see this spaceship go up, and I'm semi-conscious. And I think it's a fucking movie.
Like, what the fuck is it? What are we watching?
And everyone's crying, and they, on the fucking Kennedy Space Center or something. Everyone's screaming, and I'm like, "Wow, this is a cool movie. This is so real."
Oh my God, dude.
I go to sleep, and I wake up the next day, and I find out it's real. It's the real deal. It's happened.
Oh my God.
And I got this girl with me that we're using together. I'd met her. She was a street worker. So I'd taken her captive. My girlfriend. I call them hostages. We get this new hostage.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
We're in this $20 a room night. The first trick she does pays for the room. This is my rock bottom. I'd even lost the ability to earn money anymore. I'd become such a scumbag. I couldn't even earn money anymore. I had no drive. I had no ability. So I have a dream. This is a fucking, mate. I get goosebumps every time I talk about this. And I've only started sharing it honestly the last couple of years. So I have a dream that I die. Ooh. I'm dead.
Okay.
And I'm going, because of our teachings, I'm going upwards. I can feel myself going upwards to somewhere, and I'm justifying everything I've done. I'm going to go to wherever we go. So I get to this place, and there's this guy, robe, long hair, long beard.
Yeah.
And he smiles. He goes, "Hello, Ron. How are you?" And I'm like, straight away, typical junkie. "Listen, man, everyone I shot was fucking gangsters or shitmen. I never hurt any innocent people, and I was brought up a criminal, and I'm trying to justify
all the shit.
Shit, right?" And he's got this big smile on his face. He's smiling, and I'm doing my spool, going to try to manipulate my way into that nightclub that I'm trying to get into,
Oh my God, right?
And he looked at me and he smiled, and then he said to me, and his face changed. For the first time, he said, "You don't get it, do you, Ron?" And I remember that cold feeling, like when you're smuggling, when you're walking through customs and you're loaded up.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the sweat running down the back of my ass. And I'm like, oh, fuck. He said, you committed the greatest sin known to man.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, I'm fucked. And he said, you wasted the gift of life.
Oh, man. That's
I
heavy.
woke up, I went to detox, and I've been clean ever since.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing, dude. Like
that story still gives me chills 38 years later. It still chills me, that story. And I never told that story to anybody for over 30 years. 35 years probably. I've only been telling it the last few years since social media. Because I was so confused by that story, because you got to remember, I don't believe in a higher power.
Yeah.
But I do believe in a higher power, you know. I mean, when I say that, of course I believe in a higher power, but I don't know who God is, mate, but I know there is one.
Yes. Yeah, right. Exactly. And that's what it is. And yeah, I feel you, man. That gave me some, like, that's heavy. That was heavy, you know? And it's like, it's, for me, it was like, it wasn't this, exact same thing, but it was, I just done all my shit and I was on my knees and I was like, what do I need to do here? Like, do you want me to be alive? Do you want me to be on this earth right now? And I don't know who I was saying it to. And same thing, probably like the, ideation of a big man in the sky with a fucking robe and a beard. Yep. And, I was like, dude, if you want me to be on this earth, then fucking show me I need to be here, And the next day I got clean. And it was just like one of those moments where I feel like, there's some sort of interaction with a higher power, which, who knows what the fuck it is. And for me too, I call it, the rooms, other recovering addicts, I know that there is a higher power and I know it is loving and caring and understanding. And it's just like, that's how I get by today. And I know that there's something out there that is helping me fucking get by. And like, my higher power doesn't want me to get high. That would be the worst fucking thing for me right now, is if I were to get fucking high. And so like and even all the times that I want to get high and that whatever, I got shit going on and my life's crazy, I know that like if I get high right now, it'll just make it fucking worse. And that, and it's just crazy because that is, your story is very like, I mean, I get it, man. I totally get it. And it's super fucking powerful for sure. That's amazing, So what would you say to someone who's trying to get clean today, or someone who's struggling right now and they're listening to this and they're like, what the, just tell me the fucking answer, man. Like, what would you say to that person?
The answer is, do it one day at a time. Live in the moment. Mm-hmm. I can do anything for one day. I can hang by my toes for one day. If you tell me I've got to hang by my toes for a week, I'm going to let go. It's been proven through studies, through science, even though I'm not into the big deal. They were drowning something and then they were saving it. The first time they ever did it, the rat lasted something like fucking 86 seconds or something, and then it drowned. Started to drown. They saved it and they brought it out. And the next time it stayed paddling, it went for something like 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. The next time they did it, they saved it. And the next time they did it, went for something like 3 hours, because it started to get faith that someone was going to save it. And that's like us in recovery. We need to have faith that things are going to get better. And trust me, if this wasn't better than using, I'd be using.
Yeah.
If this didn't work, I'm not a snake salesman, you know what I mean? If this wasn't the greatest show on earth, I wouldn't be telling you tickets.
Okay.
If I'm going to rob you, I'll put a gun in your fucking head and take your money. I'm not going to kiss your ass and rip you off out the back door. That's not me. I'm the guy that walks up and says, "Hi, motherfucker."
Yeah.
And I'm going to find out where it is, that, because I'm going to put a steaming dry iron on you and turn the fucker on until you tell me where you got it buried. That was my deal, I mean, it's like, you're going to tell me? And there's an easy way and a hard way, and I don't really care which one it is. In fact, the second one's actually more entertaining for me, because I have more respect for you. Because, I was fucked up. I was wired differently.
Yeah.
I was wired differently, and you have to be wired differently to survive that many years in prison. I had lunch yesterday,
dude. Yeah,
with a bunch of guys. There, a lot of them are in the social media these days doing, men's personal health, fitness trainers, and that. And between us, I think there was 1, 2, 3, I think there's 5 or 6 of us at the table. It was like 100 years of prison.
Damn.
And
Jeez, man.
we're all now trying to help people.
That's amazing.
You know, where my
That's
forte is
amazing.
drug and alcohol. The other one's fitness and health. The other one's the fucking, what do you call them? Influencer. I laugh because I laugh when I say influencer. You know what I mean? I call them, you know, they're the snake oil salesman, you know what I mean? Riding the town in the coach and buy this bottle of sauce here. This is going to take away your wrinkles and your asshole, you know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Fucking influencer. Come on,
fucking
man.
Influencers. Dude, that's amazing, you know? And I only went to jail for a couple of days and it was for just some petty shit. But even when I was in there, I was just like, dude, I don't know how people, and like, now after that experience and after doing H&I, because, you know, making some amends to myself and, you know, like I have to go in and I have to remember like what it's like in a fucking institution, because if I don't remember, like it's easy for me to forget in this forgetter, you know, and it's just, it's like, it's crazy. And it's like, it takes someone who can survive to be in jail that long, you know? And it's just like, I would have been like, fucking dude, whatever I need to do to get the fuck out of here. And it's just, it's beautiful seeing people coming out and being like, and you know, I know a dude today who that's all he wants to do. And he was locked up since 2007 and he just got out like a couple of months ago. And he's like, dude, I just want to do whatever I can do to help people. And I'm like, good on you, bro. Good on you, man. And it's beautiful.
One of the guys that were with us yesterday, he's only been out 9 weeks. And he said, you know, I want to go on social media and help people. I want to train kids and go to places and train children, you know, train the young fellas in fitness and that. Have a look at this fucking motley crew. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Can you see the size of that big fucker beside me? Look at the size of him.
Dude, he's huge.
And, mate, he doesn't do weights.
What?
He does calisthenics only. He does 5,000 push-ups and 5,000 burpees a day.
What? That's crazy, dude. That dude's huge.
He just spent 6 years in a maximum security prison, man, and all he did was train and think of how am I going to get out of the gang life, because he wants to get out of the gang life. So he had lunch with us yesterday and we all try to support him and say, man, awesome. There's a better way. There's a better way. You know, look at us. You know, I've been out of jail 12 years. The guy beside me has been out of jail 13 years, you know. We're all successful in our own ways, you know, in our own lives. And we get together and we talk about how we're going to help people.
That's amazing.
Get together and talk about how we're going to fucking get the next run in or fucking kill somebody or shit like that, you know. I mean, we talk about how we're going to get the corrective services so we can help the juveniles. How we're going to get the fucking Aboriginal welfare so we can help the Indigenous. We're trying
awesome.
You know, we're kicking doors all the time saying, hey, we're the answer. We're the answer. Yeah. You guys, because I say to them, you're spending millions of dollars, you know, because their excuse is, we're just putting another $100 million towards, you know, a drug and alcohol rehabilitation.
Bullshit, dude.
Who got the $100 million? Where the fuck is it? Okay, you've been doing this for 10 years. It's not working.
No.
Give it to us. Give it to us.
Same in America, man. It's the same thing. It's like, you know, they put money towards all these programs and it's just like, it's just getting worse. It's getting worse.
Exactly. And it's getting worse.
And it's like, you know, that's why, you know, I'm trying to do what I'm doing just to like try and help people recognize that, like, no matter what pits of despair you've been in, like, I have been there right next to you, you know, and it's like, whatever you can find to help you get what you need if you want it, you know, and that's what it takes to also is, you know, and I've talked to a couple of people about this on the podcast as well, is like, it takes someone to want it, but I feel like a lot of people do want it down deep. They're like, dude, I don't want to do this anymore. And like, hopefully, you know, through doing what we're doing with podcasts and social media and, you know, you meeting up with those other guys, you know, hopefully we can, even if it's just making a difference with one person's life, like that's like, that's all it is, man. And that's all I want to do.
I know we are. You know, I mean, I don't even hope. I don't even hope, brother. I know 100% that we're doing the right thing. It feels right. It feels right. And I know my feelings these days, you know. This is not comfortable for me. This is not comfortable for me putting myself out there. I'm not doing this for ego. I'm doing this to help.
Yes.
I don't want to
Yeah.
do this, man. I don't get money out of what I do.
Mm-hmm.
This is fucking hard work.
Yeah.
This is hard work. You know yourself, even with your podcast. Okay, we're going to sit here for an hour. Then you've got to edit it. Then you've got to fucking do this, and you've got to do that. Then you've got to make up a trailer. Then you got to, you're talking an hour podcast can take us between 5 and 7 hours, sometimes more, depends on the guest. If they stutter a lot and they talk a lot of crap, you've got to get all that edited out and cut out. And now my wife spends hours editing podcasts. And then we have to track that person down another country. We've got to take time out of our lives. What, you think we do that because we're ego? Fuck off.
No way, man.
Fuck off. There's not enough money to pay us to do what we do.
No.
It's not a financial gain. It's a spiritual payment.
Yeah. And it's also my way of kind of like making an amends as well, because it's like, I talked so much shit in the past and all I cared about was my fucking self in the past. And it's like, I need to hear what other people say. I need to hear how other people help other people and sit and just listen, because I've talked so much my fucking life. Like, I want to hear what other people have to say and humble myself, because I know my answer isn't always fucking right, and I need to stay humble, and I need to, it's just, I just want to help people today, along with all the other people, hopefully that are trying to do something for people out there who are suffering,
100%, mate. I say to people all the time, I don't do this to get numbers. Do I want more followers? Yeah, I do. Why? Because I'm helping more people.
Exactly.
End of story. End of story. Do I want more people? Yeah. Why do you want more people? So I can help more people. I believe I'm obligated to carry the message of recovery as it was carried to me in 1981.
Yeah.
If somebody didn't take time out to come into a prison and say, man, there's a better way, I wouldn't be sitting here today. I'd be dead without a question.
Totally.
Whether it be through an OD, suicide, murdered by the police or murdered by the gangsters, I would be dead. Without a doubt. I have had the most incredible life in recovery that you can believe. Before I got clean, I'd never had a passport. I'd never had a driver's license. I'd never voted. I'd never paid taxes. The only register that I was on was the police and the corrective services.
Yeah.
It was the only place I existed. I didn't exist in any other world. And when I first got clean, I'll say this to all the viewers, when I first got clean, I couldn't talk about anything else but drugs and jail. Because I had nothing else to draw. I had nothing to draw the well from. I had no water.
Yeah.
And today I don't talk about drugs and jail. I talk about recovery because I have something to draw from. I have experience, strength, and hope.
Yeah.
And that's all I share is my experience, strength, and hope. And if that helps somebody, we've done our job. What they do with us up to them. We can only carry a message. I believe we're just servants, and I believe we have to serve somebody, something. Yeah. And I serve recovery. I serve 12-step programs. Do I think it's the only way? No, I don't. But it's the only way for me.
That's right. Hell yeah. Well, right on, dude. Well, right on, Ron. That's great, man. Thank you so much. And unfortunately, we are out of time. Thank you so much for jumping on to the Last Drop podcast today. And I really, really appreciate your experience, your strength, and your hope. Everyone, be sure to follow Ron on Instagram. He is at @thetruthAbout_addiction. And check out his book, Born into a Lie of Crime, along with all of his other resources. There's a link on his Instagram, and check that out. And be sure to check out the next drop that's coming out from The Last Drop. It's coming super soon. Go check out thelastdropclothingco.com. Sign up to be the first to know, and be sure to share this podcast with someone who may need it. And this, we're just out here, just trying to help people, man. So thank you all for listening, and have a great rest of the day. Thanks a lot, Ron. I really appreciate you, man. I hope you have a good rest of the day, my man.
Stay safe, brother. Stay safe.
Yeah, man. You too. Thank you so much.